Hello and welcome back to the Warhammer 3 newsroom. I'm COLONELDAMNEDERS and today we have all the new battle changes and improvements coming in Total War Warhammer 3. Now there are a lot of changes coming, so let's waste no more time and dive right in. So right off the bat, we've known about this for a while, but the flying toggle is confirmed and it will allow most flying units to land and avoid being such easy targets and get the most out of their charges. Now, not all units will be able to use this, one example being the Sky Lantern, but anything that has ground attacking animations will probably come with this, which is incredible. Next up, hotkeys. Stay with me, this one is actually really cool. There are now idle hotkeys that allow you to cycle through units that stood idle so you can find units you've forgotten about and give them something to do. This will be great for units like the Skaven, where units regularly break and come back, making them very easy to forget about. There are also now dedicated hotkeys for guard mode, skirmish mode, and fire at will, so if you can't be bothered clicking the icon, you're golden. Now the blog is calling this formations, but I strongly disagree with that name. This isn't formations that we know, like phalanxes and testudos. It's simply a button that automatically places melee and ranged units in front of each other. So you select them all and place them all with one single click. One neat feature about this is that once you set up a formation in a field battle, it is saved and units will spawn in just like this the next time, which could save you some time. Healing has also been changed to percentage based rather than flat values. This is a massive buff to healing spells and abilities, as they will now scale to whatever you put them on, meaning the more HP a unit has, the more they're going to heal back. However, fire damage now counters healing by slowing it for several seconds whenever fire damage is taken. Fatigue-inducing abilities also affect a unit over time rather than in a single burst. This is more of a lateral move than a buff or a nerf, but it certainly makes more sense no matter how you look at it. Bracing is of course new to Warhammer 3 battles. What this basically means is once units have been stood still for a couple of seconds, they will become braced, meaning they will take less damage from enemy charges and be harder to knock over. This means you'll want to wait for the enemy to come to you rather than rushing to take them on. And you can easily tell which units are braced from the shield icon above their card. Spells have seen many changes so far, but one we've only just found out about is the option to automatically put the game into slow motion whenever you're aiming an ability or spell. This makes it easier and the time will switch right back upon casting or cancelling. Magic resistance has also been reworked into spell resistance, which only defends versus spells, meaning magical weapon damage will go right through. And finally, the Shield of Thorn spell has been changed. No idea what the changes are, but it has been changed. Don't know why they put that in there. The UI is also seeing some substantial changes that will seriously improve the quality of life. Health bars now react to incoming damage by highlighting the chunk of damage done and draining it over time to display better just how impactful each hit is. Unit health bars in battle also now have small ticks in them to display each 25% of HP to make them easy to track how healthy they are. None of this is changing how damage works, simply how it's shown to the player. The unit info cards are also seeing some changes. You can see the entity mass in the entity size tooltip to see how hard it is to knock the unit over. Abilities, attributes and resistances now have their own panel to more easily see every detail of the unit. And finally, we're getting a 3-tier unit system, so there can now be no debate what stage of the game each unit is coming from. This is what I'm looking forward to most, strangely, as it will make the army comps videos so much easier to make. Custom battles are also seeing some changes for ease of use. Now you simply select your faction and what flag you'll want to fight under, but you'll just have access to a single roster. For example, you pick the Vampire Coast, you can fight under Direfin's flag, but take Sartosan units with you, since they are technically part of the joint Vampire Coast roster. Custom battle maps can now also be searched and filtered to make it easier to find which one you want. You can also tag your favourites to keep them at the top of the list. You can change the unit size setting in the battle lobby instead of having to change your global setting for single player campaigns. And finally, the army saving system has been improved with filtering, searching and easier navigation. There's also a brand new units browser, which is similar to the spell browser, to allow you to look at the details of any unit from any faction. And there will be many more changes to the UI and menus from Warhammer 2, so be very excited for that when you get your hands on the game. And that is just about everything we have right now on the new battle systems coming in Warhammer 3. Let me know in the comments what you think of these changes and which ones are you the most excited for. Leave a like if you did and consider subscribing to see more videos like this. If you enjoy the content and want to support it, then head on over to COLONELDAMNEDERS.store. We're about to launch a brand new exclusive Christmas line, so keep your eyes out for that. Also consider supporting us by becoming a member on YouTube, a patron on Patreon, or a subscriber on Twitch. Doing so gets you all sorts of goodies and shoutouts, such as It's Your Boy LC for their wonderful support at that Unclean Ones tier. Thank you to all supporters, thank you for watching, and for now, I've been COLONELDAMNEDERS, and I will see you next turn.